Somewhere in Africa, over 70,000 years ago, a human being dipped the tip of a bone spear into a paste made from beetle guts and plant poison, and changed the rules of survival forever. This is the story of the first poison. And it's not just about killing, it's about how a weak, slow, unarmored animal, us, used chemistry to become the deadliest hunter on the planet. Here's the problem our ancestors faced. Compared to almost every other predator on Earth, humans are pathetic. We're slow. A lion outruns us easily. We're weak. A single chimpanzee can overpower several humans at once. We don't have claws or fangs or thick hides. By every physical measure, we should not have been apex predators. So how did a soft, slow, unarmed primate end up hunting animals many times our size, strength, and speed? The answer isn't muscle, it's poison. Archaeologists have found something remarkable at Border Cave in South Africa. A wooden applicator stick dated to around 24,000 years ago, coated in residue containing resinolaic acid, a compound found in castor beans, one of the most toxic plants on the planet. This wasn't food preparation. This was a tool specifically built to apply poison to something else, almost certainly a weapon. But the story goes back even further than that. Some researchers argue that certain stone-tipped weapons found in Africa, dating back over 70,000 years, show wear patterns consistent with poison use. Subtle damage that makes more sense if the tip was coated in something corrosive before it was used, rather than just impact damage from a normal hunt. Think about what this actually means. Long before humans had metal, before agriculture, before permanent settlements, some of our ancestors had already figured out advanced toxicology. They knew which plants, which insects, which venoms could kill. They knew how to extract those poisons safely enough to handle them, and they knew exactly where to apply them for maximum effect. This wasn't luck. This was knowledge passed down, tested, refined, and taught. One of the earliest forms of applied science in human history. And the poisons themselves are almost unbelievable in their sophistication. In parts of southern Africa, some hunter-gatherer groups still use, and have used for possibly thousands of years, a substance extracted from the larva of a specific beetle in the genus Diamphidia. The process is brutal in its precision. Hunters dig up the larva, extract a toxin from their body fluid, and apply tiny amounts to the tip of an arrow. That arrow doesn't need to hit anything vital. A scratch is enough. The poison works slowly, sometimes over several days, paralyzing the nervous system of even massive animals like giraffes or elephants. Think about the patience that requires. You shoot the animal, it doesn't drop. It walks away, seemingly fine. And you follow it, sometimes for days, tracking its trail across the landscape, waiting for a poison invisible to the eye to finish what your weapon started. This changes everything about how we should picture early human hunting. It wasn't a single dramatic kill. It was a slow, calculated hunt, stretched out over time, requiring patience, tracking skill, and deep trust in a chemical process you couldn't see working. And here's a detail that rarely makes it into the story. Using poison this way required something almost as impressive as the poison itself: antidotes and safety knowledge. Handling some of these toxins incorrectly could kill the hunter, not just the prey. Groups that used poison arrows also developed detailed knowledge of which parts of a poisoned animal were safe to eat, and which parts, concentrated near the wound, had to be discarded entirely. This is knowledge that had to be exactly right. Get it wrong and you don't just fail to eat, you poison your own family. But hunting animals wasn't the only use for these toxins. Some archaeologists believe early poison technology may have had a darker parallel use, as a weapon against other humans. Poisoned arrows don't require close combat, immense strength, or physical dominance. A single, well-placed, poison-tipped projectile could neutralize an opponent many times stronger than the person who fired it. In this light, poison wasn't just a hunting innovation. It may have been one of the earliest tools of asymmetric warfare, letting the physically weaker survive and win against the physically stronger. This lines up with something researchers see across the animal kingdom more broadly. Venom and poison are, in evolutionary terms, a shortcut. Instead of evolving bigger muscles, sharper claws, or faster legs over millions of years, an organism can simply evolve, or in our case, discover and weaponize, a chemical solution that neutralizes physical advantages instantly. Snakes did it, certain spiders did it, and at some point, humans did it too. Except we didn't evolve it biologically. We invented it culturally, and then passed the knowledge on generation after generation, refining the recipe like an ancient, deadly heirloom. And once you have a technology like this, everything about your relationship with the natural world changes. Suddenly, animals that used to be impossibly dangerous or completely out of reach become viable targets. Large, powerful game that no unarmed human could ever bring down through strength alone become huntable with a single, well-placed scratch. Poison effectively rewrote the food chain, placing humans near the very top, not through physical evolution, but through chemical knowledge. Some researchers even argue that mastering poison may have given certain early human groups a decisive survival advantage over other hominin species we once shared the planet with, species like Neanderthals, who show far less evidence of this kind of sophisticated chemical technology in their toolkits. While Neanderthals were, in many ways, physically stronger and better adapted to cold climates than early Homo sapiens, they may have lacked this particular innovation, the ability to turn plants and insects into an invisible extension of a weapon. If that's true, it means one of the deciding factors in which human species ultimately dominated the planet wasn't brute strength or bigger brains alone, or even better tools in the traditional sense. It may have come down to something as strange and specific as knowing exactly which beetle larvae, prepared exactly the right way, could kill an elephant. So the next time you picture early humans hunting, sprinting after prey, wrestling it to the ground, overpowering it through sheer force, replace that image with something closer to the truth. A hunter, moving carefully, applying an invisible weapon to the tip of an arrow, firing once, and then simply waiting patiently for chemistry to finish the job that muscle never could have. We didn't become the deadliest species on Earth by being the strongest. We became the deadliest species on Earth by learning how to cheat.